hi YouTubers, hi Facebook, hi phones. In this short video, we are going to be talking about NAKIVO and a NAKIVO webinar, which is enhancing VMware with VMware monitoring. In this short demo, you are going to be looking at NAKIVO backup and recovery solution, some of the customers that they serve, from small to large enterprise, for example, Honda and DHL. Honda's the car manufacturer and DHL is the delivery company. If you require any further information or product technical demos or anything like that, you're more than welcome to contact us. Our team has got a wide range of awards and sales training, as you can see a couple of awards behind us. No request is too big or too small. The website will be in the description. If you require any further information, any pamphlets, leaflets, or just a couple of questions you'd like to ask before booking in a demo, or wanting to see an actual live demo, please don't hesitate to contact us. One of the team or I will be happy to assist you. Stay safe, stay secure, and always remember, Absolute Cyber Services and ACS Corporate always has your back. Any request, day or night, 24/7, 365 days a year. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.
Hello, let's wait for a few more minutes. Others are still joining. We're always happy to see our partners at live events. Before we proceed, let me introduce myself and my colleagues. I'm Sergey Gutsel, Channel Manager at NAKIVO. I'm joined by Nick Luchkov, Director of Technical Pre-Sales. I'll be presenting and Nick will be showing the demo and answering any questions you may have at the end of the presentation, along with Dario, who is Sales Engineer at NAKIVO. First, we'll go over what NAKIVO does for those of you who are new to our webinars. Next, we'll take a closer look at the new additions introduced in our latest 10.5 release, VMware Monitoring and Hardened Virtual Appliance. Then, we'll go through the different methods of VMware data protection with NAKIVO backup and replication that you could use in a proposal for your customers. After that, our experts will show you a live demonstration of configuring NAKIVO backup and replication for optimal performance with VMware backups. Then we'll have a brief look at some of the newest partner promos from NAKIVO. One last thing before we begin, if you have any questions, you can start leaving them in the chat window. We'll make sure to address all the questions at the end. You can try the chat right now. Tell us which VMware data protection best practices have made the most difference in your experience and why. This might give us some interesting insights that we can discuss at the end. Now let's get started. I believe some of you may be new to our webinar, so I quickly go over what NAKIVO does and what makes NAKIVO Backup and Replication one of the leading data protection solutions in the industry. NAKIVO is a US-based corporation dedicated to delivering the ultimate backup, ransomware protection, and recovery solution for virtual, physical, cloud, and software as a service environments. The solution is designed with scalability in mind. The largest of our customers protects 8,000 virtual machines, while another protects over 300 remote offices and distributed sites. Despite the pandemic's challenges, NAKIVO witnessed significant growth of 144% in the Asia Pacific region in the third quarter of 2021 compared to the same period in the previous year. Our customer base grew by 23%, most of whom came from the EMEA and the Asia Pacific regions, reaching over 20,000 customers in 162 countries. For the first time, businesses from Malawi, Paraguay, and Belize became NAKIVO customers. A sample of customers in Q3 2021 includes the National Changchun Institute of Science and Technology, Ministry of Economic Affairs in Taiwan, and First Atlantic Bank. Over the past year, NAKIVO has been focused on building successful partnerships all over the world. We're now working collaboratively with more than 6,500 partners, and our partner community is constantly growing. More than 197 new solution providers joined the NAKIVO partner program in the latest quarter, and the number of managed service providers grew by 90% compared to 2020. For the first time, managed service providers from Guatemala, Romania, and Ukraine joined the NAKIVO partner program. Our team keeps adding improvements to NAKIVO Backup and Replication so that the solution remains at the forefront of reliability and efficiency. In 2021 alone, we have already had 4 releases with a big focus on helping customers overcome ransomware, thus introducing ransomware protection and recovery features like immutable backups in Amazon S3 and local Linux repositories. We also did a small 10.4.1 release, which added compatibility with the latest version of VMware vSphere to help our customers keep their virtual infrastructure reliable and secure. The latest version 10.5 adds more enhancements for immutable repositories, introduces the VMware monitoring, and improves Microsoft 365 compatibility with added support for auto-setting API permissions. NAKIVO Backup and Replication is a comprehensive solution for backup, disaster recovery, and ransomware protection. The solution can be installed on Windows and Linux, deployed as a pre-configured virtual appliance in popular virtualization environments, or installed directly on a NAS device. NAKIVO Backup and Replication can create agentless, application-aware backups to maintain data consistency while saving storage space and system resources. The variety of backup and recovery options, such as backup to multiple destinations, full and granular recovery, and instant backup verification, provide enterprise-grade reliability. At the same time, an array of performance optimization techniques and an intuitive web interface make it suitable for organizations and infrastructures of any scale. Finally, the extensive disaster recovery and automation functionalities enable fast recovery from disasters, ransomware attacks, and other site-wide incidents. Let's take a closer look at 2 of the latest additions to the functionality of NAKIVO Backup and Replication and the advantages they bring. First, Hardened Virtual Appliance is an anti-ransomware measure to protect backups from encryption and ensure data recoverability in the event of an attack. Starting from version 10.5, customers can deploy NAKIVO Backup and Replication as a virtual appliance running Ubuntu server to protect data against ransomware. Backups sent to a repository deployed as a part of this virtual appliance can be made immutable for as long as needed. In other words, with Hardened Virtual Appliance, customers get a convenient deployment option for the solution as well as an immutable target for better backup security. The typical user story for this measure For this feature is a customer who stores backups locally and needs to protect them from threats like encryption, from ransomware, or accidental deletion. Essentially, hardened virtual appliance provides benefits similar to those of cloud-based S3 object lock, but with all advantages of locally stored backups. Now to our big news. We're introducing IT monitoring to our range of products. The first iteration focuses on VMware monitoring. It allows users to monitor resource usage in their VMware vSphere environment. Occasionally, resource usage can outspace infrastructure capabilities, leading to bottlenecks that can cause costly damage and, in some cases, data loss. VMware monitoring lets customers avoid these issues by giving complete visibility of VMware vSphere performance and health. Customers have access to real-time and historical data on the CPU, RAM, and disk usage of VMware vSphere VMs, hosts, and data stores. All the information is available from the same console where they run backup activities, so customers can analyze trends, investigate issues, and project future needs to ensure uninterrupted performance. The user story for VMware monitoring is an IT administrator responsible for overseeing the performance of virtual infrastructure and has to ensure that VMs get enough resources. The VMware monitoring provides this possibility from the same console where the backups are managed, which is both reliable and convenient. The pricing for VMware monitoring starts at 100 USD per socket for perpetual licenses and at 13 USD per year per workload subscription. We've also streamlined the Microsoft 365 discovery process. Now customers can choose to automatically register the Microsoft 365 account as an application in Azure Active Directory and also choose to set all required permissions automatically, which speeds up the process. Optionally, customers can register the account or assign permissions manually as before. The typical user story here is the IT administrator responsible for setting up the Microsoft 365 backup activities. Registering the account and setting up permissions in Azure Active Directory manually is time-consuming and may not work correctly. With the new features, accounts can be registered and all permissions can be granted automatically, and the customers can be sure that nothing is left out. Now that you're familiar with the latest features, we'll look at how NAKIVO backup and replication fits into the larger concept of VMware data protection. NAKIVO backup and replication provides a range of features to effectively create backups and maintain multiple backup copies. The solution helps customers choose the right type of storage for each goal and type of data. Depending on how frequently they need to access the backup data and what recovery scenario this data will be used in, customers can send primarily backups to local storage, to CIFS or NFS shares, offsite to a NAS, for example, or to cloud. They can then send backup copies to the cloud or tape for long-term storage. This means that the production environment is not impacted, regardless of the number of backup copies customers want to create and retain. NAKIVO backup and replication offers one more feature to make data tiering even simpler: job chaining. With job chaining, customers can configure the solution to create copies automatically after a backup is completed successfully. Basically, a successful backup triggers a backup copy job to the cloud, to tape, or to offsite storage. Another way to protect your VMware data is to prevent unwanted deletions and modifications of backups with what is known as immutability. There are several ways to make backups immutable in NAKIVO backup and replication. Let's look at each one in details. S3 Object Lock is a native feature in Amazon S3. We've integrated this feature's compliance mode in NAKIVO backup and replication so customers can enable it right in the interface for their recovery points in Amazon S3 buckets. The feature protects backup data against ransomware and accidental deletions and modifications. By enabling S3 object lock, customers can specify how long they want their recovery points in Amazon S3 to remain immutable. Immutability in compliance mode basically means that objects are stored in the read-only mode using the write once, read many, or worm model. No user or third party can overwrite or modify objects until the expiration of this retention period, nor can they modify or shorten this period. In addition to offering ransomware protection, Amazon S3 Object Lock also allows preserving important data for compliance purposes. Another great option for immutable backup data is storing recovery points in local Linux-based immutable repositories. In addition, the hardened virtual appliance feature introduced in the 10.5 release allows customers to protect backups and backup copies sent to a hardened repository deployed as a part of the pre-configured virtual appliance. By making recovery points immutable in a Linux repository, customers can be sure that when a ransomware strikes, they always have a clean copy of data to recover from. A local repository also means that your customers stay in full control over their data and don't need to rely on a third party for backup availability. The on-site local copy is also faster and easier to use, which can become an important advantage in the early stage of recovery. And thanks to the hardened VA feature added in 10.5, the immutability now cannot be disabled even by super users, essentially creating an autonomous offline alternative to the S3 object lock. By using these immutability features with the versioning capabilities in NAKIVO backup and replication, your customers can efficiently respond to any cyber incident and recover in the shortest possible time. The third and, in a sense, the most reliable way to protect backup data is to make it unreachable. Tape is usually the first example that comes to mind, given that it is a difficult target for hackers and malicious code. But there's also another way that you can make tape and other detachable storage like external drives immutable, and that's by disconnecting them and keeping them offline. This technique is known as creating air-gapped backups. In the most basic sense, an air gap is a security measure that makes backups unreachable over the network by keeping them offline, for instance. With no external connection, all threats are neutralized. NAKIVO backup and replication can create backup copies to tape, and customers can use the job chaining feature to automate this process. Robust security is the only factor in VMware data protection. It is equally important to eliminate human error whenever possible. One way to achieve this in NAKIVO backup and replication is through policy-based data protection. Customers can create policies that describe which VMs get added or excluded from backup jobs. This feature is partially useful for customers with large and dynamically changing infrastructures where new VMs are frequently created or migrated between hosts. With automated backup jobs, customers can rest assured that no VMs end up unprotected, and they can benefit from reduced complexity of operations, which not only saves time and resources, but also leaves fewer chances for errors and prevents data loss. The next aspect of data protection covers the recovery process. Different scenarios require different approaches to recovery, and choosing the right one is key to getting data back on time. Granular recovery is perhaps the most easily recognizable example. This method is used when the customer only needs to recover a specific item, like a file or an Active Directory object. While they can do a full restore, this can take an unnecessary amount of time and resources. With the granular recovery functionality in NAKIVO backup and replication, customers can get the necessary item directly from Compest and the duplicated backups without wasting precious time. Conversely, in some situations, customers may need to have an entire machine recovered as soon as possible. For instance, after a mission-critical VM goes down. The best way to act in this scenario is to use instant full recovery. With the help of Flash VM boot in NAKIVO backup and replication, the VM can be booted directly from a compressed and unduplicated backup to a location of choice. The most important advantage of instant full recovery is that it doesn't have any effect on customers' source backup, so they can use the recovered VM for testing purposes or migrate it to the production environment for permanent recovery, all without compromising the integrity of their data. In some cases, issues with VMs start before the data is backed up. The easiest example is a VM that doesn't have enough resources. So when it gets backed up, it already misses the necessary data despite the backup procedures being on order. In this sense, maintaining optimal performance and health of the VMware infrastructure is actually the first step in data protection. NAKIVO Backup and Replication 10.5 comes VMware monitoring, which can help with that. Customers who are using the latest version get access to real-time and historical data on resource usage of their VMs. The information is available from the same console where they managed backups, so they can detect issues and make timely performance optimizations. With VMware monitoring, customers can take a proactive approach to data protection by introducing timely optimizations and avoiding data loss. All of the techniques we've discussed so far are usually enough to create substantial data protection. However, large organizations with complex virtual infrastructures and established workflows would require a more systematic approach. To address this need, NAKIVO Backup and Replication also provides advanced site recovery functionality. Recognizing the value of time during system failure, we have designed it to be pre-configurable and require as little involvement as possible during the actual recovery. With disaster recovery, customers can create a recovery procedure of any complexity or for any number of scenarios. In case of a disaster, the planned actions are performed with minimum effort and zero delay, ensuring business continuity and preventing loss of revenue. Nick will show the demo of VMware data protection in NAKIVO Backup and Replication.
Hello, in this webinar I will demonstrate you all the new features and functionalities with the version 10.5. And let me start from auto set permissions for Microsoft 365 account. With the previous version, which was 10.4, the process of making an application within Azure Active Directory and granting required permissions for NAKIVO Backup and Replication was done manually by the end user. And this was very time-consuming. Moreover, many users were making mistakes by providing the correct API permissions. Now let me demonstrate you how easy it is to have Microsoft 365 account integrated with NAKIVO. I have the new installation of NAKIVO Backup and Replication, so let me navigate to the settings, navigate to Inventory, and click on Add New. Here you have to select SaaS, which is Microsoft 365 account. Next, provide the display name of the integration. Select the services which are available to protect. By default, all services are selected. Under username, provide the administrator credentials of SharePoint Online. Type the password. Click Next. On the third step, which is configuration, you have two options. The first option allows you to automatically register a new Azure Active Directory application on Azure portal, and the second one allows you to use an existing Azure Active Directory application. Let us first review the automated approach. Select an option Automatically register a new Azure Active Directory application, and then click Next. On the last step, you have to provide the name of the application which will be registered, and copy the code and paste the code to the suggested link. Log in with your account and confirm the login to Microsoft Azure CLI. Now you can close the window. At the bottom of the page, you will see that you are registered with your account. Click Finish to start the integration process. The process is running already, so for us it should not take much time. The integration is completed, and NAKIVO Backup and Replication shows you the information about the number of mailboxes, OneDrive items, and the number of sites. You can click on the integration and see the details inside. I will close this window. Now I will provide the new integration. I will select the same platform. On the next step, I will keep the same services. Will name the integration. I will provide Microsoft SharePoint Online username and the password. Then on the configuration step, I will select another option, which is use an existing Azure Active Directory application. Then I will click on Next. And I have to navigate to Azure portal to find an existing registered application. Let me find MS 365. And over here I need to copy the tenant ID and paste it to NAKIVO Backup and Replication user interface. Then we need to copy client ID and we need to paste it here. For Azure Client Secret, we can either copy existing secret which was generated, or we can create a new client secret. The client secret was created, so I will copy it to the clipboard and we'll paste it here. If your registered application already has all required API permissions, then you don't need to check this box. In our case, if we go to Overview, View API Permissions, we don't have the permissions granted for the specific application, so I will let NAKIVO grant all required permissions. Then click Next. Since we need to grant the required permissions, we need to copy the code and paste it to this link, which is provided in the NAKIVO UI. Log in with your credentials, click Continue to sign in to Microsoft Azure CLI. Now we can close the window. We were successfully authenticated. Now we can click on Finish to start the integration process. The integration is completed, and as with the previous case, we can click on the integration number 2 and we can expand the mailboxes to see the integrated accounts. We can expand the sites to see non-personal sites, and we can expand OneDrives to see the accounts integrated. Now let me navigate to the Azure portal, and as you see now, NAKIVO has provided all required API permissions, so you don't need to enter those permissions manually. And now let us move to the next big feature of the version 10.5, which is IT monitoring. For this one, let me open up a remote instance of NAKIVO Backup and Replication. We have one backup job running here, and as you see, we have got a new menu, which is monitoring. So let me click on this one. And what you can see, we have one virtual machine which is being monitored. At this stage, NAKIVO Backup and Replication provides monitoring for VMware environment only. The trial version will include the monitoring by default, but if you are an existing user and you have updated to 10.5, the monitoring will appear if you have sufficient license for that. If you have a new and clean installation of NAKIVO Backup and Replication and you don't have the monitoring configured, NAKIVO will ask you to add the virtual machine to the monitoring. So let me remove this one, save it. You will see this interface. No item is being monitored, so you need to click on Add Monitored Items. Over here in the list, you can either search or select the specific items in the hierarchy of the vSphere. The policy view gives you the possibility to automatically include virtual machines to be monitored based on specific rules. The rules are based on criteria, and there are many criteria names. For example, the name of the virtual machine, template name, tag, VM location. In the case when I would like to monitor all my virtual machines which contain SQL in the name, and let's say those virtual machines needs to be powered on, I can select VM name, then specify contains SQL. Then NAKIVO will automatically select the specific VMs. We can add an extra rule telling that the state of this virtual machine should be powered on. Then we can click on Save and add this virtual machine to the one which will be monitored. Now, whenever you will add an extra virtual machine which will contain SQL in the name and which will be powered on, NAKIVO will automatically include that virtual machine to the ones which will be monitored. Also, once you do the monitoring of the virtual machine, make sure you have VMware tools installed and updated. As you can see, you can monitor in real time CPU load, memory load, and disk usage. Moreover, you can see the historical information. You can change the filters from 1 hour to 1 day, 7 days, 30 days, or 1 year back. Or you can provide the custom filter and you can track historical information. Historically, you can see the information about the CPU usage, memory usage, and disk usage for the specific virtual machines. Additionally, you can add the hosts and data stores to the items which will be monitored. To demonstrate this, let me change to the items view, and I can select now any available host in my environment. So let us use this one. NAKIVO will ask you if we want to monitor all VMs in the host or just the host. So let's select the host and then click Save. As you see, the monitoring process has already started. Once you have applied the host monitoring, you can track the CPU load and memory load, both real-time and historically. Now let's try the data store. Let me find the data store in my environment. Let's select this one, cluster node number 1. Select it for monitoring and let's hit Save. And as you see, we can track the disk usage for the data store. As a summary for this functionality, I would like to say that now with NAKIVO you can both protect and monitor VMware environments. This will help you to identify the bottleneck in resource usage for any virtual machine, host, or data store. And in our next versions, we will be improving the monitoring functionality and we will be working on more hypervisors which can be monitored. Another great feature which is available with the newest version would be the object level recovery for the Nutanix backups. To demonstrate this, let me open up the new tab. In this environment, we have got the backup of the Nutanix server over here. If I click on Recover, I will see the new options, which would be Recovery for Exchange, SQL, and Active Directory. Since the server is SQL one, let me click Recover SQL Server. Then we would need to select the recovery point on the right, move next. Then we would need to select the recovery server. So I have the credentials saved. Let me just click on Test Connection. While this one is running, let us open the remote desktop connection to the server and remove the database inside. The database was removed. Now let's see how connection goes. So it's successful now. We can proceed to the next step. Now NAKIVO is retrieving the objects from the database which is in the backup, and we will see the list of tables we can recover. The database was retrieved, so we can expand it or select the existing one. Then we can click on Next to do the recovery. So what do we need to recover? Either schema and data, and recover only schema. So we'll select schema and data. Then recovery type would be original location, of course. If not, you can recover to the custom location by specifying another MS SQL Server instance. Or we can export the database. So let us recover to the original location, and we would need to specify the overwriting behavior. So if this database already exists, what do? We either rename it, skip, or overwrite. For us, it doesn't matter actually, so let's keep it as is. Then we need to hit on recover, and the process will be started on activities. So I will hyperlink to activities and let us track how this process is doing. So it's still running. Let us wait for some more time. So it's done and it's under completed now. I will go back to my server. And I would need to refresh everything. As you may see, the test database was successfully recovered. This is it from my side. I hope the provided information was valuable for you. Now let's move to the next section of this webinar. Thank you.
Before we move to the Q&A session, let me go over NAKIVO current promotions for our partners. The first of the list is the Marketing Development Funds program, which provides support for our partners' marketing activities so they can find more customers faster. To join the NAKIVO Development Fund program, you need to be an activated NAKIVO partner and comply with all terms and conditions of the MDF program. You can participate in the MDF program in just 4 steps. Share your marketing activities plan for NAKIVO backup and replication, expected results, and budget with your channel manager. Receive approval from us. Once you have completed the agreed marketing activities, send us proof of the results and costs. Claim the agreed amount from NAKIVO and receive partial reimbursement. For more details on the NAKIVO MDF program, please contact your dedicated channel manager. In the meantime, check the MDF program terms and conditions. The link is in the chat. We also have the NAKIVO Partner Program, which provides the highest margins within the industry, allowing you to offer competitive pricing to your customers. Almost half of the market price with the same or better software performance and functionality. NAKIVO offers 3 levels of partnerships: Bronze, Silver, and Gold. Check out our partner portal. The link should be in the chat by now. With our partner portal, you can accelerate sales cycles and close deals quicker by purchasing new licenses at any time, right when you need them. You can also check our latest updates on pricing, partner program, marketing resources, and up-to-date training materials right on the partner portal. And as always, we develop and offer promotions specifically tailored to increase your bottom line and help achieve your business goals. First, you can increase your base discount rate for your partner level with the deal registration promotion. Until December 31, you can get an additional 10% discount on each deal registered through the deal registration form. On top of that, you have several opportunities to receive a $25 Amazon e-gift card. For example, you can schedule and attend a joint demo with a prospect. In this case, the prospect receives a gift card too. You can participate in more than one promotion, and you can always contact NAKIVO channel managers for more information. All of the descriptions and links to the promos are available in the Handouts tab, along with other marketing materials. Download them now so that you don't miss a good deal. Two more promotions you should be aware of are our end-of-year promotions for customers. The first allows customers to upgrade their NAKIVO backup and replication to Enterprise or Enterprise Plus edition with a 10% discount, unlocking the full potential of the solution, including features that are useful for large organizations, like role-based access control. The second promotion is a 10% discount for backup for Microsoft 365, which is equally attractive for corporations and small businesses. You can add these promotions to your offers to make more deals with customers who were hesitant about upgrading. Note that there are only 100 discounts available for each promo, so be sure to inform your customers about the limited nature of the promotions. Now we're ready to take your questions. You can type your questions in the dedicated question box in the control panel.
All right, so we have got the list of questions, and let us start from the first one. Are there any plans to support Hyper-V with VM monitoring in the future? And I believe another one similar to that, also regarding VM monitoring, any plans to add more functionalities like built-in alarms, responses, capacity planning, etc.? Well, yeah, so we do have the plans. At this stage, you have to understand that this is kind of phase number one of the monitoring of the product. We have released it for VMware only, and we are planning to extend it to the other hypervisors and, of course, increase the functionality, like having the alarms, having the reporting, and so on. So that's just a matter of time, and we are going to move forward with this direction. All right, thank you for the question. Do I have to create a new virtual machine to take advantage of hardening? If we talk about hardening of the virtual appliance, yes, it's better to migrate from existing virtual appliance to the new one. And this, how to achieve this? It's simple. You just need to deploy another virtual appliance on a site and use export-import configuration and just reconfigure the NAKIVO this way. Any plans to create this with Cohesity target storage and Cohesity data log? Well, at this stage, as I know, for the nearest two editions, we don't have Cohesity in the plan, but this may arrive then in the latest versions. So thanks for the question. Does monitoring work with the same with Linux, Unix machines on VMware environment? Yeah, it doesn't matter which environment, which operating system is that on VMware. It works the same way. So the question is if we are going to integrate with Wasabi S3 data log, with the same as with S3 AWS. So yes, that's in the plan, and we are planning this to be not on the next release though, but on the nearest ones will be planned. The question is if is there progress information on how long will it take to restore? If the database is large, it will be good to know when you expect the restore will be finished. Well, we may implement this feature. I think that would be possible. Just to estimate some time how much the restore will be processing. At this stage, of course, it's the matter of trying. So if you would like to estimate, well, since there are many dependencies, we always recommend our customers to take a local restoration and see how it goes with the real hardware, real scenario, and so on. And in this way, of course, you will have some estimates for the future, how long it will be necessary to spend the time on restoring. But I agree, this would be a kind of next functionality we can implement. So we just need more feedbacks from you requesting this one, and the more feedbacks we get from our partners and customers, the higher chances this feature will be implemented. Does NAKIVO support transparent snapshots introduced in version 7.3? I don't think at this stage we support it, but well, I cannot say for sure. Well, at this stage, this is not supported. If this will be required, we'll of course add those. Is there any support contact in Italy or Germany? The question from Marco. Marco, the majority of support is English speaking. If you have any issues with speaking English and you speak Italian, we have the sales engineer who speaks fluently Italian. So contact your sales representative and we will contact you with him so you can have some conversation if the language is an issue. In Italy, we don't have local representatives the same as in Germany, though we have offices in Europe. The question from the sales side, so VMware monitoring, is it available in all editions? Well, yeah, I can cover this one. It's actually, yeah, it is. It is available in all editions. So the only thing you need to purchase the additional license, so NAKIVO can allow you to monitor the infrastructure. Good one, is immutable repository available when NAKIVO backup and replication is installed directly on the NAS? Yes, it is available. You can install NAKIVO, either full solution on only NAKIVO transporter on the NAS, and you will get the immutability. Is there any chance to get support for Hyper-V 2022 before version 10.6? That's the hard one. I'm not sure we will support it before 10.6. So I think 10.7 will be more feasible for that. So it's just I don't have much information on supportability of this one and on the estimated time we can support it. So I cannot answer it for 100%. Well, we can figure out and come back later. All right, let me check another one. How are immutable backups on local Linux server protected? My take, it creates a lock on the backup files. It will protect a simple delete of file, but it feels like somebody deletes the partitions, the data will be still lost. Well, I think yes, if somebody will delete the partition, the data will be lost, but that's high security issues then in your case. So I'm not sure. Well, first of all, you can use virtual machine appliances, and then nobody will be able to delete even the existing backups, even the partitions. But the second thing, if you will get such high security breach that someone will delete the partitions, of course, then the only solution would be backup copy to some offsite environment, air-gapped environment or cloud environment. So that's kind of, yeah, all we can do. We did all we can do in terms of protecting. Any plans for including virtual to physical restore? To be honest, we don't plan virtual to physical. Physical to virtual is available, and we are planning physical to physical. But I'm not aware about virtual to physical restore. Let me check the chart if somebody is asking on that side. Is money? Yeah, that was the answer. Bare metal restore. Andrea, thank you for the question. Yeah, bare metal restore, as I've said, it's either upcoming 10.6 or 10.7. All right, so that's it. We can move forward then. Thank you for the questions.
As you may remember, all attendees of today's live event have a chance to win one of two $50 Amazon gift cards. And now's the time to find out lucky winners. Let's start the draw now. The winner is someone named Sir.
I think we can redraw it. It's kind of, anyways.
Wow, Omitech SRL, and congratulations to Alessandro Baldacci for winning the first prize, the first gift card, and now the winner number 2 will be is Richard Fuel. Congratulations! Your prize should arrive in your inbox in about 2 weeks. Thank you for attending. Hope to see you at our next live event.
If you need to contact us for further information, you can reach us on the website that's going to be in the description. You can also contact us on our live chat service. You can contact us on the YouTube comments. We'd be more than happy to assist you. You can reach us at acs@cyberservices.com, and the contact numbers are +44 for international dial, and that would be 1704 893 447. You could also reach me on my mobile at 07494 027783. If you need to contact us on any further information about webinars or demos, please let us know, and I and one of the team would be very happy to assist you. Thank you. But please note that when you are coming to us with regard to an educational request, please also send in some form of identification, or if you are a member of staff, say the IT administrator, please send in a letter from the head teacher with a manual signature so that we can apply an educational discount. But please be aware that you may have to buy so many licenses in order to get a discount. Thank you and bye bye.